Oh, it's getting dark and I'm sitting here and my cat is trying to find a little nest. He's just, yeah, I don't know what they call that. But she's trying to find a nice little place to lay down. I want to do a video today about the mark of the beast. My last video was a little bit about the mark of the beast, which will be administered during the wrath of God. And people were, of course, I think it was first, Seventh-day Adventist church people, trying to make a point about the mark. Oh, the mark is really supposed to be an image. If you translate it correctly, it could also mean image. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. For me, mark means a sign. Okay, image is a sign. So I don't know how it's going to look like, but it's going to be, okay, let's say an image. But that is not the major point, okay, of that image. When we go to Revelation, let's see, I need to find Revelation. So that's in Revelation 13:16. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their on their right hands or on their forehead. Again, people can interpret it until the cows come home. No, we don't need to do that. Mark just means a sign. That's all there's to it. It's a sign. People will get a sign, and then people are interpreting what it means to have a sign on your forehead and your arm. And then you come up with all kinds of symbolism. Okay? What is the bottom line for the mark? Why is the mark administered? What is it? That's the bottom line. Why is this mark, this image, the sign, why is it administered? It really doesn't matter if it's on your butt cheek or someplace. Okay? It doesn't matter. It's an image, it's a sign that's put on your body. Why on your body? You can say, okay, I think later on it also says that you just need it, right? So that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. In other words, could you have like a card and the mark could be on the card? It's possible. I think eventually they will put it on your body. Why? Because that way nobody can use somebody else's credit card, card or whatever. It'll be on your body. Okay? And that way it's not going to get lost. Now, will it be visible? I don't know. How will it be visible? I don't know. Does it say what it is? No, it doesn't. It just says it's an image. But again, the bottom line of the mark is that you cannot buy or sell unless you have it. That's the bottom line. Okay? There's many people like the Seventh-day Adventists, they believe, oh, it's the Sunday law. Well, how are they going to do that? So if somebody doesn't go and honor the Sunday, so in other words, they work or do something against the Sunday, they will get the mark, or they will not get a mark. In other words, you'll have to go to church on Sundays or whatever, and that's when you get the mark. I think that's a long stretch for me, okay? Because I don't think they don't have to do that. Again, another fallacy of that is that they're saying the Sunday law is administered through Babylon the Great. But the mark isn't. The mark is administered by who? The beast out of the earth. Okay? So you have to distinguish that. When people say, oh, the mark of the beast is administered by Babylon the Great, it's wrong. It's wrong. The mark is administered through the beast out of the earth. It says it clearly. Okay? This is a description, starting with verse 11, that it's administered by the beast out of the earth. And the beast out of the earth is also the false prophet. It's not Babylon the Great. It's not a religious system, which I have addressed so many times in my videos. It's not a religious system. It's a political system that, however, acts like a prophet of a religion called humanism. Okay, that's a religion too, if you really think about it. So, they're the false prophet. And who is that? That is the United States. It's an empire. Any beast is an empire. There's a difference between the beasts and Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great is a religious system. Papacy. It's a religious system. And the religious system is not administering the mark. And he doesn't say that they're going to bow down to Babylon the Great. Okay? And the opposite. They honor, they worship the previous beast. Seventh-day Adventists, they make a connection between the beast, Babylon the Great, and Babylon the Great. So the beast out of the earth, the beast out of the sea is where Babylon sits on. But they are two distinguished entities. Babylon the Great on top is the religious system. It's the papacy. And I think they got that one right. But the beast on which Babylon the Great sits is the Holy Roman Empire. Okay? And that Holy Roman Empire is using the United States when it gets hurt. And today there are one beast, really. It's called the NATO. And the NATO is the one, both beasts together, that eventually will administer the mark. But it will be initiated by the beast out of the earth, which is the United States. So it's a religious system. Selling and buying has to do with, of course, money. Who is in charge of the money system? We see that today. Who is in charge of the bank, the economy? That is the political system. They're all kind of interwoven, right? So if anybody can force people to accept this mark of the beast, it will have to be a government, because they're the only one who have the authority. They have the means, they have the military, they have the police that will enforce it. Somebody's going to have to enforce this. The Pope is not going to enforce it. The Pope will have to use again the government to enforce it, but the Pope is not doing it. Okay? It doesn't come from the Pope. It comes from the political system. It comes from the beast. And again, the most important thing is the buying and selling, owning things. Okay? People get this wrong. Why? Because they interpret things. Oh, it's only symbolic. You not really have something on your hand or your forehead. It has something to do with you believe in your heart or whatever, all the nonsense they're saying. Why don't you just take what it says right here? Okay? There is no symbolism attached to forehead and hand. no symbolism that I know of in the Bible. It's going to be a literal mark, okay? It could be in form of a card. I don't know. But without that, you cannot buy or sell. Unless you bow down, this is almost then like, at that point, I think you will know, okay, that the government will control you. You can say right now, oh, we have already chart cards, right? But they're not connected to our government at this point. We're not bowing down to our government because we have a chart card. Eventually, the whole thing will be connected to the government, okay? And the government will say, if you do not have this mark, you will not be able to buy or sell or own anything, okay? That means you have a house, you have a car, you have to pay taxes. If you can't pay your taxes because you don't have this mark, could be just a number, I don't know, identification number, whatever. If you don't have that identification number from the big beast and you don't pay your taxes with that number, then it's the mark of the beast because you bow down to the system. Many people say, oh, it's the vaccine or something. No, I don't think so. I mean, it was a precursor, I think, or not a precursor, but I think they tested with it, and it could have gone further, that they would say, okay, if you don't take it, you don't get a mark, or you don't get a number, or whatever, a card, or whatever, and then you cannot buy and sell. Then I would have said, okay, look, we're going towards the mark. But they're just starting to test right now the people, how they react. Are the people ready? Are most people ready to bow down to the government when the government says, jump? That's what they're testing, or that's what they just tested during the pandemic. And of course, they already know most people went along. There are some people that didn't go along. And so they know that. And because they didn't go along, I believe the government is ready next time. Okay? I think next time he is ready. So here is just a short kind of video to make you understand. It has nothing to do with Babylon the Great or papacy. Well, I shouldn't say that, because probably behind it is papacy anyways. Because everything that the government does nowadays comes from papacy anyways. Here in the United States, in Europe already, we know that. So yeah, there is a connection to, there's most likely a connection to the man of sin or papacy, but it doesn't say that here in Revelation. And again, don't interpret things. Take it the way it is. I don't know what the mark is, how it looks like. You know, sometimes I think it's like just like a maybe that code, that square code now that we're seeing all over. Is it something like that? They will tattoo it on your forehead or on your hand, invisibly, you know, and then, you know, you stand before a light or something, and that's when it becomes visible. It's almost like a tattoo, like a type of tattoo, which I have already kind of shared before. All possible. But again, I think it will be administered, and I'm saying that because that's when we hear the mark of the beast here in Revelation 13. But it does not tell you exactly when it will be administered here. But when you read, for instance, I think it's Revelation. Sorry, I'm getting tired. Revelation, I think 16. It's either in the bowls, the wrath of God, or it's in the trumpets. And I have done a video about that. Okay, so go back and see another video about the mark of the beast. And I mentioned it very clearly, those pieces. I think there's two. I think one, let's see, I think one is even in Revelation. Is it 13 or 8? And I always forget it, people. Okay, let's see. I should get it really fast. Yeah, here in Revelation 16 is the first one. It says, the first angel went and poured out his bowl on the land. An ugly festering sores broke out on the people who had the mark of the beast and worship its image. Okay? So right there we see that it is definitely administered during the wrath of God. Interesting. Revelation 13 and then 16 is where the wrath of God starts. And then we see it again in another spot where I think the plague is not supposed to be coming on the people that, or only comes on the people that have the mark of the beast. And I don't know, again, I don't know if it's, let me check it out. I'm figuring it is in chapter 9. It's the 5th trumpet. Okay? Look at the 5th trumpet and see what it says there. That's two spots where you know the mark of the beast. Let's see if I can go back. Okay, here it says in 4. And that is a Revelation 9. They were told not to harm the grass of the earth or any plant or tree, but only those people who did not have the seal of God on their forehead. Okay, so those are the ones that did not have the mark of the beast. Okay, so the people with the mark of the beast will be tortured. Okay, so I think it may be even like that in another translation. But so we see that this mark of the beast will be administered during the wrath of God, for sure. They may start it earlier than when the wrath starts, but I believe the implementation, the strict implementation, will be during the wrath of God. I think people will have wiggle room in the beginning, but then during the wrath, they will make it mandatory. Anyways, people, I'm coming to an end. This is a short video. I just want to clarify that because I always have, again, people that are taught the wrong things. They don't go to the Bible and read what the Bible says. They're just assuming or believe what their teachers are saying. Their prophets, I guess, are saying. And they're not questioning it. And then they are misled. And then they come on my channel and they're thinking they can mislead the people that are watching my videos. So I think that's just wrong. You believe a certain thing, you belong to a certain church, and you don't want to change, nobody is making you. Okay, God is not making you, I'm not making you, nobody's making you. But do not come and then mislead other people that maybe don't want to believe the lies that you were told. That's all I can say. And I know people always, of course, are looking and, doing research, and that's okay. I think that's a good thing. But if you are so convinced about what your teachers were telling you, your prophets, whatever you want to call them, then you have to stick with them. Okay, just stick with them. But don't, then try to get somebody else to be misled too. Now, I understand it's kind of the way it is, right? When you are, and let's say you are a drug addict or a alcoholic, usually you want people to go along with you so you're not alone. I understand. Anyways, people, let the Holy Spirit guide you always.